It's notes and pages. I will say one great thing was this year they added the notes into the app. And so for those of us that don't write well, you could take your notes on the app, and then I printed them out. That was so cool. So
I didn't know that. That's actually really cool. I wish I would have paid attention.
And I'm not that techie. Okay, so obviously, first you tell Gary Keller, who is always like crazy to listen to. I would go just for that experience, trust me. So a couple of things he said day one was think about the market you're headed into, not the one you're in. Okay, and on a footnote after that, he said you won't recognize the real estate market next year. Because, and it's not because of like, oh my gosh, the sky is falling. It's because of how the real estate market is transitioning into a real estate technology market. And so his example was that like Amazon, Netflix, Google, they created the experience so well that their consumers don't believe, right? We've all had that. I love Zillow. Even my clients that know, Lisa, I know you don't like Zillow, but so he says, you know, KW is doing the same thing. Where the goal is that no other company will catch up if we offer the tools we have now, which means everything that they're rolling out, we have to learn and start to put it into practice. So I would say for us, I went out there with my buddy Glenn and my buddy Linda, and we came back and had a meeting and said, you know, what are the top 3 things we're going to do? The word I heard most in my experience was tracking on many levels. Tracking your business, tracking your calls, tracking your appointments, tracking the things that didn't turn into appointments, just tracking so you get a real clear idea of how many connections you need to make to get the business you want to have to reach the goal you've set for yourself. Because no goal is unattainable. We just need to know how to get there. And we won't know if we don't track our experiences.
Very cool. Any other hacks that you heard from agents that you want to steal and repeat? No, okay.
I don't think
Pass
so.
the mic. Pass the mic.
I didn't know about hacks.
Okay, we got a lot of good people here.
What a hack
We'll just keep scooching. We'll just keep scooching. We get everyone. Okay. Sorry, we're taking like 10 minutes. Yeah. You're not a hack.
Hack is a good thing. Hack is learning what people are using that we could use. But I think in addition to what Lisa said, we took all those notes on, we reviewed a lot of things. It really boiled down to 3 things. And like Lisa said, the technology that we're learning. Second thing would be to teach our clients how to rely on us for not the technology, but for information. We're assuming that they know it. And so we need to, as Gary Keller said, put a moat around us, not to keep people out, but to keep people in and keep people nurtured with information. They're looking for information. They're looking for information quickly. If we don't learn it, we're not going to be the resource that we need to be for them. And overall, more than anything else that I heard was relationships. You know, we have all this technology, and that's how we're going to do our job. But I can't tell you the number of people who are making a big business out of real estate, relationship to relationship. It's not blasting people. It's not being, it's not having all these tools. It's using the tools in the background, but being face to face with people and forming relationships, knowing what they care about. And I can't say that enough because we've heard it from every individual speaker. We've heard it from Gary Keller. We've heard it from everybody. And it's a good reminder, even if we have to go back to some of the basic things that we did. So that's my takeaway, is not only tracking and technology, but relationships.
Awesome. Yeah.
What do you want? Oh, but here's my notes.
It's not an iPhone now.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, so as someone who's really been involved with the technology, it was like for me getting back to the basics, and it's nothing new. You know, we were just talking about this earlier. They really didn't tell us much new. The book MREA, Millionaire Real Estate Agent, written 16 years ago now. but
Still relevant.
communicating with our database, and every single person that was on stage, it was like they were all communicating pretty much the same thing.
But they're better at it.
But one of the things that really blew my mind, and I shared this with Jackie, was that every single person that was getting panel interviewed or on stage got their P&L personally reviewed by Gary Keller. So what we're doing is empowering business owners, every single person here to be a business owner. What is the profit for your business you want to live the life you want to live? Not how much GCI are you making, what the industry standard is, how much commission are you making? It was just so powerful. And Gary said, you know, success, every single person up there who has success did not come by that on accident. It was intentional. So if you want to live a big life, you just intend that I'm going to live a big life, and you take actions consistent with that. And so that's when he pointed to there is no catch up. If we just keep taking action and constantly evolve our technology, there is no catch up. And then
So when you say that, if they weren't there, you're thinking like catch up for your hamburger.
right, yeah, there's no catching up. There's no catching up to us. The industry can't catch up to us because we're so far ahead. We're years ahead in the development of the technology. So all these companies now, you start to hear, oh, we have that too, or oh, we're doing that too. Yeah, but no. Josh said, oh, wow, one of these companies talked about their new platform they're developing. And he goes, that's so funny. He goes, because their vision, that's our past. The screens that they were showing were literally screenshots of what we had 2 years ago. So they're just literally so far behind. It just blew my mind when he shared that. And the biggest thing that people always say, what's my one thing I start my business with, really get going, is lead generation, right? It all boils down to lead generation. But then what I heard was, they're not leads, they're people. Yeah. And I'm shifting my mindset to people generation.
Love it.
And so that to me is just boom.
Perfect. You guys look switch down here on the camera. Come on down. You guys are live. So behave, everyone.
Behave, official. Okay, so to kind of go off of what Gwen was saying, what I kept hearing over and over was we have a lot of technology, we have a lot of ways to track things, we have a lot of different ways to find new leads, stay in touch with our old leads, but none of that means anything unless there's a you, unless there's a Judy or a Matt Fishel or whoever. All the technology isn't worth anything unless you have that relationship with that person, unless you use this to keep yourself in relationship with that person. And that's really the whole point is, so I was at that testing thing yesterday for the rollout of the new equipment, and we're rolling out neighborhood blasts based off the address of the property you sold them to make you Zillow instead of them going to Zillow. And another thing that kind of struck me was there's, with change comes the apprehension, and especially with some of our not quite as technologically savvy agents, there's maybe a little bit of a fear around this, but there's really no need for there to be a fear around it. You can use as much or as little of it as you want. You just don't have to be the master technologically. You don't have to be Ryan Yarborough to make this thing work. You can be me, who's gonna go have Kevin, download my contacts out of, into this thing, and set them up on some neighborhood blast, and it's just gonna be okay. It's gonna work. And also with this thing we went to yesterday was the introduction to Command, kind of the replacement for .loop. And again, it's just gonna be okay. It's not gonna be any harder. It's not gonna be this big deal. You just have to. Okay, so I open an opportunity. Well, it's not a loop anymore, it's an opportunity, but who cares? Call the file, call it whatever you want. It's basically the same thing. You're doing the same thing. So don't get overwhelmed and don't get all nervous about this change that's coming, because it just really doesn't have to be that hard. And we're going to be in place to do most of it for you if you're someone who's not really the most technologically savvy.
Cool.
Thank you very much.
Reach on down.
Debbie Dingling on behalf of Myers team. It was my first mega camp, and it was really awesome, very powerful, very inspiring. First aha I got out of it was, if you're not number one, you're settling, so don't settle. And talk, a lot about best practices as far as engaging your database, the smart plans, the quarterly calls, just, diving into this command system because it's what we're going to be using and nobody else has it. That was one of the biggest things too. There's another company that has the tech that we're going to have here. Let's see. And what Jordan wanted me to say was his big aha was our industry's calling for the agent to provide these at a higher level where functionary will be at a deep discount. The 6 pillars: information, education, advice, service, connection, and affinity. And the other thing too that I really got out of it was the culture. And being on a team, one of the things somebody said was that your admin really kind of holds and maintains the culture of the team. And I was thinking about it, kind of like, man, we've got a lot of admins. That's true. It really is. And you got to hang out with a lot of people, that I haven't really gotten to know in my second year here, and it was really good. And also learned how to use the Uber scooters.
Yes. There's a lot of people that had forward from scooters.
That would have been a hack for me. My name is Judy Probst, and I've been with Keller Williams since 2007. I've been to most mega camps, and it was in some ways like my first one. And one of the reasons why I related to it so much, it was unbelievable, because in the past, it's been these superstars, a parade of superstars across the top that were so huge and so major, it was hard to relate that to my individual business. But this year, it was all about bringing it down to the individual, to be honest. That's how it felt to me. And it was like, I felt very connected to the people that were up there. And when they were talking about relationship and the value that you bring to your individual clients, and that being involved in your communities and being a giver, what ways do you give back in your communities? And it's just all about connecting. So at the same time, we're just, we're now a technology company, that is doing business as a real estate company, and yet we're more personalized, and that relationship is more important than ever. So really, but I got a few things I'd like to say. I mean, one of them is that what I picked up is, we have some great speakers. I mean, they're just awesome. If you have a chance to go back to them, our inspirational speaker, which I don't remember having one before. It had a different flavor this night, and the inspirational speaker was a man named Jim Stovall. He's written 40 books, so you may have heard of him. I think his most famous one was made into a movie called The Ultimate Gift. And his message was that really you get what you think, you get what you deserve in your imagination, basically that it is truly our choice. That first you give it a choice, first you make a choice, and then the choice makes you. So every day, every choice that you make is going to create your future. And then of course Gary always teaches us to aim high, think big, and he has a mantra now that he repeated many times, and it's very basic, but he says it over and over in his mind. So if it's good enough for Gary, I think it'd probably be good enough for me. Get real, get it right, take action, and don't quit. And the biggest thing is, what he means by get real is let's face reality. Even though the market feels like it's pretty much the same, nothing's changed, everything's the same, right? It really isn't. There's these huge, invisible competitors coming who aren't from, they're not from RE/MAX or C21 or any of the other typical ones. They're major corporations, and they want to not only take our business, they want to take our jobs. So we got to get real on that and think, okay, so what is the action? What's the right action that I need to take, and the value that I need to provide to my relationships that will, this is a relationship business. It always has been, right? So you really want to deal with a, Texas person you've never met. Some people will, maybe, but a lot of people won't. They'll choose to go who they know, like, and trust. And then, of course, actions that you take, take whatever action you take, whatever you choose to take, just take it and keep taking it. And then lastly, don't quit. And I was in several presentations where they showed this line, a graph, and it kind of goes straight across the street. And then right before it goes up is this X mark, and that's when people usually quit. nothing's happening, this lead gen isn't working, all my efforts are failing, I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough, I'm not tall enough, whatever, and quit just right before they're gonna go. And many people gave examples of that as well, so it was all really good. And then there was the last thing I'll say is there was this really cool chick, she's my new hero. Her name is Christy Smith. She has her website's called Indie Homes, and she's creating a business that I'm kind of like her mini business of hers. So it was so gratifying to me to see her up there. She stages every listing, and she also has a transformation team. And one of the things that she said, how she convinces her sellers of the benefits of staging, she says buyers in general aren't going to buy if they don't like it. And I've noticed, I'm sure you have too, that buyers are getting more demanding on the home improvements and what they expect the house to be in. And that doesn't mean they won't buy it, but it's going to be priced. So, buyers are not going to buy it if they don't like it, but for a certain price they want it. And so that's important that we let our sellers know that if they don't want to do the upgrades, they don't want to do the staging, they don't want to do the extra things to update their house to today's standards. And I'm not talking about, she said her average transformation was $5,000. That's really not a lot of money when you talk about, because it's not just now what are buyers going to do if they know that they have a lot of work to do? Are they going to offer, when they're going to lower their offer by the amount that it will cost to do those repairs? Double? Quadruple? Tenfold? Exactly. And then the other point to that was I have another point that escaped my mind, but that's the bottom line, that if you make the investment now in the front, that you're going to get, I got it. I knew if I kept talking. But one thing I hadn't realized before is that if they don't like it, they're not going to buy it. And basically, we are actually cutting a huge pool of buyers out of our marketplace by not doing the minor updates. Christy has a team of people. Some of them are employed, but most of them are not. They're subcontractors, which she has a very good relationship with. And they are very loyal to her because she sends them a lot of business. And she is actually being very, very effective getting sellers to go ahead and make those improvements, which decreases the days on the market, improves the price, and it's really cool. So, check her out. She has a blog.
What was your website again?
Indie Homes. She's from Indianapolis. Indie Homes. So anyway, that's my hack.
She was really good.
Hi, Mary Ann Davis from the Vanessa Leonard Group. This was my first mega camp, and I have to say that it's kind of like a concert. You can't tell someone about a concert and have the same experience. We all have to go. It really is that amazing.
Good analogy.
To have all of those, all that talent and excellence in one place is just amazing. So I think the big theme, of course, is tech, but that's driven by the need to give our clients information because of the internet, everybody kind of has all the same information. So it's up to us to dig deeper and get more information and have that added value on a micro level. And our system, Command, is going to get that for you. And so I think that we're talking about relational, that this is a relational business. And if you're so busy trying to get all that information, you don't have time for the relationships. And so the technology is going to help us to do all that. I think that for me, of course, a lot of the talk was about your database and knowing your business and knowing your clients and having that. So I know Vanessa had talked about also that was a major thing, was really getting a lot of information in your database, using your database, and knowing your business, knowing where your business is going. There was a woman talked about one of her top buyers had gotten so many sales from open houses, and she looked at the data after not having looked at it for a long time and realized that that wasn't the case anymore. And she had a conversation with her agent, and it turned it all around. It was just kind of a mindset. So that was really powerful to me. I also thought, talked about lead gen and protecting your time. And for me,
the hack was build a bunker for yourself around your lead gen time, and whatever that takes from Elsa, that she sits in Office Depot, whatever. But, whatever it takes, whatever it looks like for you. I know, but whatever it looks like for you, however you need to do that. So that's, that is what I got from it, and just so many amazing speakers.
Awesome.
I'm Melanie Schumake, single agent, and it was also my first mega camp. And there's two things that really stood out to me. As a single agent, one of the things that I think how are we going to compete with the team? How are we going to get a presence? And so there was a mega agent on stage, and all the megas pretty much talked about hyper-local and hyper-focused, and not trying to do it all, being very, very, very focused and intentional where we are. This one mega on stage blew my mind. He started farming the neighborhood with 2,000 homes, and today he farms over 200,000 homes. Blew my mind. And he did that by going with the first little neighborhood, 2,000 homes. Once he got over 10% of the market share, he added another one. And once he got 10%, he added another one. And now, like I said, he's over 200,000 homes that he's farming. And it was just amazing to think. But almost every mega up there said the same kind of thing. Not that they were necessarily farming, but they were very hyper-local, hyper-focused. And the other thing was they were very much into their community. And again, as a single agent, trying to, what I think is compete with like a Judy Popes and all of the community things she does, you can't think like that. You have to think about, what can I do? Where can I fit in? What does that look like for me, right? And so I think, again, hyper-local, hyper-focused. So that was my big takeaway. And culture on the last day was amazing. And Marianne said it, you can't even talk about what it was like to be there. To watch every culture ambassador walk across the stage and represent their region was very powerful. And the things that they're doing and the things that they're even getting, again, very hyper-focused within their own market center was really cool to hear about. So hopefully we're going to see a lot of sticky notes soon.
Yeah. Love it. So thank you guys for sharing. Okay, if I could get the leadership team up here, we're gonna kind of not our own pass the mic, but they're gonna be helping me share. I'm gonna show you a couple videos just so you guys can kind of see some of the things that we saw. But this is what I would say is the most important thing that you guys take away right now. It's not about becoming some technologically advanced agent. It's not. In fact, the tech that they've put together for us is very quick, easy to use, because they know that's not what our gift zone is. We would all be technologists if that was the case. And yet, what they're striving for is what we call a one-on-one experience. And I just want to talk about this for a second, because we say tech, and I think sometimes the point of this is getting lost. So who here has Amazon? Nearly the whole room. Okay. So if I logged into your Amazon, Karen, what you like is going to pop up, right? And whatever I was shopping for last or clicking on last is going to pop up on mine. And so when you go on Amazon, you have a one-on-one experience based off of your usage of Amazon. So that's Amazon using big data and artificial intelligence to guess what she's going to buy next. Same thing happens with Netflix, doesn't it? Sure, right? Or even any search engine. So when you think about technology, Facebook, yep, any tech that you're probably on regularly already relies on big data and artificial intelligence to curate, big word, curate that one-on-one experience so that you're going to see what you like. And actually, this happened when we were at Family Reunion. The VRBO we had Netflix. But apparently they like zombie movies. That's how that popped up. And I don't like zombie movies. So I just got off. So that's when we say one-on-one experience. That's what the consumer is desiring in every industry. Every industry. And you guys are just the same. So when you think about that, how does that translate to real estate? What comes to mind, you guys? A one-on-one experience. Well, what it means is the days of you sending spammy templated emails about why you should get pre-approved, or how you get wine out of carpet, or a newsletter that some company made that you can email. Those days are dead. In fact, those harm you. Drip campaigns are a thing of the past. In fact, websites are a thing of the past. So, kind of mind-blowing, isn't it? But yet, that's how quickly this is moving. So when you go into command, if you entered me and you had an address, the artificial intelligence knows, based off my address, that I live in Gulf Harbor's neighborhood, and will automatically put me on a neighborhood nurture, if you like, so that I get a one-on-one experience from you, my realtor, to the neighborhood I care about. So it's like you all individually are writing a newsletter to everyone in your database about the neighborhood they actually care about. Now that's an assumption that they care about the neighborhood they live, but most people do. Even if they rent, they still care about what's going on around them. And yet you're giving the consumer the ability to add other neighborhoods anywhere in America at the same time. So when you say we're going tech, that's what I mean. The days of spammy newsletters, stop it if you're doing it, because that's how you get unsubscribes, and that's how you tarnish relationships with just stuff. And that's how you're going to build a moat around your relationships, by giving them that really desirable experience of that one-on-one. So just think about it today. Who has Netflix? Okay, most of the room. Your Netflix knows what you're going to want, right? In fact, we started a new Netflix account because it kept profiling me the wrong direction for a while. I watched too much of the wrong stuff for a while. So I started a new one, so I have a new identity, so I can get new artificial intelligence to predict me. Can you imagine if your consumer felt that intimate with you, that you were caring that much about them and giving them that specific information? Well, that's what they desire, and whoever provides it wins. And once you have them on your Netflix, are they going to go to Zillow or Realtor.com or Trulia? No, because those programs don't have the technology to do that, number one. And number two, they just want the information. Who delivers it is irrelevant, but if it's through someone that they have a relationship with, that trumps everything. Does that make sense? So don't think you have to become some nerdy, geeky realtors out there and technified and all that. It's really about just plugging in the artificial intelligence and letting it do its thing to make us better. And from a standpoint of single agent versus team, one of the things that is a really added bonus for those of you that are single agent is it levels the playing field. Because the reality is there's been programs that agents could buy for years now that were pretty tricked out. I mean, they could do some really cool things. They could automate major, sections of the business that you're doing manually right now, track leads better, lots of great bells and whistles, and yet those services were very expensive. And so there was really only the top 1% of realtors that could actually afford to have that. And now this basically levels the playing field because you have a program that's more tricked out than any of those combined, and it's free. So we're going to highly encourage you to plug in, and you don't have to do much. It's actually, we all practiced yesterday together to make sure we had our act together as a group, and it really isn't much. In fact, it was kind of like, okay, that's all we have to do. And it's not much different than what you're already doing with .loop. It's just a new program. So we're going to have a rollout. We're going to have, we're working on getting a VA to help set all of your marketing profiles up. And we're going to schedule you for your launch, which will take about 2-3 hours, and you'll be 100% on command. So what do you guys think about that? Yay! So we're going to lead the country in the best adoption, and we're committed to giving you guys what you need, because that's how you stay relevant in this business. So do you guys want to add anything or pass the mic that you learned? Yes.
How about the teams? Are they going to be rolled out too?
Oh, yes. Yep. Teams as well. Come on down. We'll have you in the middle because we have a video. Okay.
Hi, everyone. I'm Tana. I'm your MTA if I haven't met you yet. So one of the things that I felt at the mega camp was that the energy was just really great there in
just everybody is just super excited about everything that's coming in here in real estate. One of the big things that really struck me was when we went to the inspirational session with Jim Stovall. I believe Judy talked about him for a minute. One of the things that he went blind when he was really young, and he had fell into depression. He was doing the why me, and one of the things that came out of him was that you don't fail because you don't know what to do. You fail because you don't do what you know. Isn't that powerful? So you stop to think about that. The other thing that really hit me when he was talking about that as well was you change your life when you change your mind. So if you really stop to think about that and see how you can apply that to your business and be able to grow with technology that we have coming up, it can really change your business if you change your mind and get yourself in the right place for it. The other thing that really struck me was that you could really feel when Gary Keller was on stage that he really cares about all of us in the business and keeping you guys in the transaction. And it goes back to what Marianne was saying, was that at the concert that you can't really feel that until you're actually there. And so one of the things I was thinking about when I was standing over there listening to everybody talk was, I don't know if everybody's aware that we actually have, we can actually hold money out of your green sheets so that we can, you tell me how much you want out of each green sheet, we can hold that for you so that when the time comes, you're able to buy your mega camp ticket or your family reunion ticket. So if you guys want to do that, stop by my office and let me know.
Awesome. Okay, Damani.
Hi everyone, I'm Damani, this is a TVer. And I've been to family reunion, but this was my first mega camp. And it was just as amazing as family reunion. And there's a few takeaways for me where one guy was up there talking about, what is your net worth goal? So a lot of us think about how much we want to make in a year. We think about gross commissions and all of that. But he really hit home on what's your net worth goal. And we're all in real estate. We all get to see these properties. We're in an amazing position to start to think about how can we create passive income? How can we maybe start investing in real estate? And it's something that a lot of agents don't do. So it was something big for me to just keep, hitting home. And, he kept saying, commit to wealth, lifestyle comes later. And there's no amount that's too small for you to save or to invest. And it's just really starting to look at it from that perspective, because we are also wealth keepers and we can help our clients learn how to also invest, not just buy your one property, but how can they also tap into that. So I thought that was huge. Another thing is Gary has that blog called Think Like a CEO. If you don't know about it, look it up. Podcast. And it's amazing. And I've been listening to it a lot. And he broke down CEO, the acronym. C is for create energy. And it's about creating a plan and a purpose. E is how do you engage talent, right? How do you connect with people at a level where they know you're connecting with them, not just for a deal or for whatever. And how do you own your results? Always for own results. And he kept talking about how this is a simple formula that can transcend any part of your life, your relationship with your kids, just really coming from that CEO mindset, right? And the last thing for me was several agents talked about, how we're in that world now with, it's very high tech, but also we have to be high touch, right? And it's really going back to that high touch and those relationships. And several people talked about the gap that everyone is 3 to 7 years from moving. And there's a 7-year gap that most of us miss out on because we're not doing that high touch. We're not staying in touch with people. And if we just keep figuring out how to stay in touch with people,
and a lot of us don't have a plan, and you don't want to just spam your friends, right? So then you just don't do anything. So this command nurtures results that.
Exactly, to get that gap. So again, it was a wonderful experience. Did you want to share too?
Front and center, Kevin, you're on.
Okay, so I think the biggest thing, beyond not to kind of echo or repeat what other people have said, is really for the fact that the experience that we get when we go to these things is not really, you can't get the feel of it unless you're there. So I can't only echo the fact that if you ever have an opportunity to go, please go. Please go. Try to make plans.
And we have a mini mega camp in October. So Nikki actually hosts a mini mega camp in Fort Lauderdale. It's October 17th, I think. We'll get the info out and we can carpool, we can get a caravan going. She has many of the same speakers that were on the main stage of Mega Camp coming here. So for those of you that, and it was such a rough week because it was the first week of school, so a lot of people couldn't go for that fact alone. And yet, Nikki throws another Mega Camp for you guys. So we'll get that information out to you now because we can't quite book it, but you can put the dates on your calendar. That'd be a great opportunity.
So the only other thing is two things. With regarding to command, the only thing I'm gonna relay is this, guys. If you have a question about it, ask somebody who knows about it. Ryan, myself, Jessica, anybody who works in the market center, not another agent.
Please.
Please. And then also the next thing you're gonna see coming out that you're gonna get, which is phenomenal, we got to see it, was the actual mobile app. Phenomenal app. That's gonna be probably the biggest thing it's gonna excite you more so than command.
Yeah, when is that?
Soon.
We're thinking about mid-September. They've got Google testing it. So we hired Google and all the Google employees to actually test it to make sure it's thumbs up before we blast it off to everyone. So once that gets through Google, we're live. We're ready to rock and roll. And that's actually the whole end game. Why did we do all this? And it's really important to start with why. So if you think about what we're doing, if you could hand those up, that'd be great. If you think about why we're here today, it's not because Gary Keller wanted to spend $1 billion and make technology. That is not it at all. It's because we have to be here today. And when you think about competition with you guys, who do you guys think of? Let me hear from you. So what's your competition? Who are your competition?
Coastal.
Coastal. Who else? Redfin. Who else? Rex, REX. Yeah, you just heard about that one coming in. What else? OfferPad. What else? EXP. What else? Who else? Zillow. Okay, you know what's interesting? You guys aren't mentioning Remax, Coldwell Banker, Century 21. And you know, that's because they're not our competition anymore. They really aren't. Because you guys have really kind of blown them out of the water. This is a snapshot of what the local market is, and I've got this going in email to you as well, so you can start using it in your presentation. But the new kids on the block that are coming out of the woodwork. Oh my God, there's so many more that don't show up on here. I'm going to list them for you. You can write all over this because we'll send this in email as well. But door, you're going to start seeing door. You're also going to see knock. Those are two different companies. It's not door knock. It's door and knock. You're going to see Zillow offers.
My yard.
Yeah, but they've never sold anything here. So I'm just giving you all the ones that aren't showing up on here. The reason I don't have them on here is because they haven't sold anything yet. But boy, are they marketing, are they not? So if you see anything on your doorstep, I'm going to ask that you let me know about it so I can track all of these companies. So you can have like one report like this. So you've got Door, you've got Knock, you've got Zillow Offers, you've got REX, you've got UpNest. Is there anything else besides Bungalow Homes, Purple Bricks, ListSmart, Listed.com, OfferPad, Redfin, Open Door that you guys are running into? Miriam. Dorothy? Like Dorothy.
And I write that one down. A represented seller, and they listed it as full service in the MLS, but then the seller kept having to do all the work. And the one that said, oh, I'm not paying them a percentage, and they only gave them $500, which she then charged the buyer they did.
Okay, so you're getting, so that's another one. What, we sent another hand over here.
That was me.
Yes.
I get about letters almost 3-4 a week from individuals, cash buyers,
Cash buyers.
representing themselves as, I mean, I don't know if it's buy owner or
Yeah,
we
so
buy
this
ugly
is the
houses.
point. If
all
you
this
were in this room 2 years ago, we'd be talking about what Coldwell Banker is doing or what Remax is doing. And that's the whole point of this. These other companies that didn't even exist 2 years ago are coming out of the woodwork like crazy. And you need to compete differently. And that's what we're going to talk about today. And we're going to go through the iBuy and all that you guys have. But the point is this. First of all, I don't want you to freak out. they're not doing much. So this is a visual aid of all of the sales from January to today for Pinellas, Pasco, and Hillsborough County. So when you look, here's OfferPad. That's all they have sold in all 3 counties. And this is our office, our singular office. So don't lose your mind. It's not that scary out there, but here's what they are. They're predatory marketers. They really are. I'm going to show you this. I'm going a little off our plan, but we kind of went long, so I want to make sure I get all this. I want to explain to you what the current iBuy looks like and what our iBuy looks like so you can understand the difference and be like, why in the world did Gary Keller partner with OfferPad? Because he had to. He had to, and I want to explain this to you guys. So right now, we've got billions of dollars of hedge fund money, and I'm going to pull this into the middle so that the video people can see it too. We've got billions of dollars from hedge funds from all over the universe coming in and funding Opendoor, OfferPad, Bungalow Homes, Redfin, all these different companies, okay? Now, what's interesting, I'm going to show you a video in a few minutes. It's a little long, it's about 4 minutes, but it's very interesting because none of those companies are even profitable, okay? They've got hedge funds backing them, banking that they will become profitable. And there's like a new name every week, isn't there? Yeah. So if you guys remember before Uber, I barely can remember it, when the whole transformation of that industry happened from taxi cab services to Lyft and Uber, for a period of time, if we looked back in time, there were all these knockoffs of other companies, but really the only 2 that we kind of remember are Uber and Lyft, because they're the ones that made it, okay? Yet, we've got Door, we've got Knock, we've got Dorothy, whatever, you know, we've got them all over. You're going to see that continuing to happen, and I don't want that to stress you out, but I want to track these things. I want to track them and see who's getting momentum, if any, and yet they all are competing with each other with the same algorithm. So if I'm a person in your database, and I'm curious about all this marketing I'm getting, or I may have even gotten a phone call from one of these companies, or I may have gotten a postcard in the mail with an offer without us even having a conversation, I might look into it because they're sending predatory offers. And what I mean by that is, if I get this letter in the mail, I didn't even talk to a human, it's offering me money for my home. And they give next sheets that are kind of optimistic. In fact, the last class I had, I was thinking, Frank Ubaldi, like, I was thinking of maybe doing it. No, it's not true, because the predatory offer that they offer has about a 7% cost. Now, your commission is very close to that, is it not? In most cases, right? So if I, instead of having to show my property, get it cleaned up, get my carpets cleaned, get some painting done, fix this light fixture, and get my kids out of the house, try to figure out where my dogs, I don't have kids, where my dogs are gonna go for the showings, and they wanna do open houses, and I don't know when it's gonna close, and I hope I get full price, and I got all this anxiety and stress like the typical consumer does. If I just paid a little more, that could all go away. That's not so bad. That's what they're being told. That's what they're being marketed, and you've got millions and billions of dollars being marketed to them that way. But it's not the truth. And so if you look here, Purple Bricks is actually out of our country already. They're out of Australia and out of the US because of their fraudulent offers and their fraudulent advertising and all the lawsuits that they managed to create for themselves in short order. And this is why. So when they go through the process, so I'll say that, Karen, you're my realtor, and you're an iBuy company, not a realtor, you're an iBuy company, and you say it's only gonna cost me 7%, and I sign the net sheet, and I sell my house to you. What happens is during the process, in inspections, they make a list the size of Texas of all the things that are wrong and come to me for a credit, a big one. And the truth is, most people are so far into the deal, they got the moving van schedule, they already in their mind are moved, they just say it's fine. And it ends up being, if you look at a whole year's worth of studies of all the iBuys, about 15% of the closed. So those are the ones that are closed. And I've got some great articles, and we're not gonna have time for everything. So what I'm gonna do is pin all of these in one email so you can go back and read them, print them out, have them with you, share them with whoever you want. But after a full year of study for those that sold, that actually sold, the number you can really kind of bank on is about 15%. Okay? Any questions on that before I dive in any further? Now, when they give offers, they're buying about 1 to 2% of them only. Okay? So if I do an offer for your house and it's in an area I really, really want as a company, same open door. And I really, really like your house because it's much like a cookie cutter house. It's in a really predictable neighborhood. There's no flood insurance. There's no weird financing. I'm going to write a better offer for you than if you lived on the water and you have flood. Because as a company, I never wanted to buy your house. So you'll hear from consumers sometimes where they did it and they're like, oh my God, they offered me $100,000 less than what my house is worth. You're going to hear that, and that is them just giving really bogus offers for the houses that you have no intention of ever wanting. So just know you're going to see that. So in some cases, their initial net sheet might be 20 or 30% off, and they're going to be like, forget that. So for those of you that market on your farms are waterfront property, you are set. You don't have to worry about iBuy bothering you too much because they really don't even want to bother with any of that. So that's just food for thought. Now, when does it make sense for someone to iBuy? Denise. What did she say?
Relocating and they have to move quick.
Relocating and they have to move quick. Let's just say I wasn't planning on moving, but my job's relocating, or I'm getting divorced, or something in life is happening, right? And I don't have a lot of cash, but I got quite a bit of equity. And I don't even have enough money to move where I need to go. I don't have enough money to get my life set up. I don't have enough money to buy another house. I might take that deal, right? Or let's just say we're all siblings and we had a rich uncle and we got an inheritance together. And we all wanted to not have to deal with it, but we want our money, right? We're not gonna all fly to another state to check out a piece of property to try to settle it. We're just going to off it. So there are reasons why people do use this model. This is a model that's not gonna go away. But yet, let's just be honest, most folks that look at this are not really that person, are they? No, they estimate that it's about 10% of the people that are iBuying really should have. Because they actually had a real situation that made sense for them. Their certain pain was big enough that they're like, just get rid of the property, I need to move on. And so know that this is what the model is that you're protecting yourself with, but here's the problem. It's all this money they have to market with. So Gary feels he needed to create something for you to be disruptive back to them. So you now have iBuy. There'll be a class we're gonna roll out because you've gotta go through the class to qualify. And I wanna explain it because everyone's like, what, we joined OfferPad? No, we did not join OfferPad, but we're taking their money. We're taking their money. So there are hedge funds. There are hedge funds for this, but they're not in any marketing. They're not in any sign that'll be in the yard. There'll be no knowledge of where the money came from, but that's how Gary's gonna finance you to be able to say, we can do that too. Okay? Yes, Nico.
They offer the same platform to any agent right now.
Excuse me?
They offer that same thing through OfferPad to any agent right now.
Right.
I was on it yesterday.
Yes, but here's how it's different. So let me get to the end of it. OfferPad or any company that markets to your consumer eliminates you. Do they send you a referral fee? No. Are you invited to participate? No, you're out. You're out 100%.
The listing when it goes back on the market.
Do you get the listing when it goes back on the market? No. Okay, you're out. With ours, OfferPad's financing it so Gary had enough cash on hand to say yes to everybody. It's going to be the exact same algorithm as the rest of these are all using. So if you actually sat down and did this with all these companies, you get almost identical offers because they all use the same algorithm, okay? There's a class you're gonna go to that's gonna qualify you so you can talk about this in an educated way and you can have all the marketing materials you need, and we're gonna have it here very shortly. We're like screaming for it to be the first ones in Florida to have it. You can provide this to the consumer. So instead of having them market to your consumer, you are gonna market to your consumer, your database. And you're going to give them a real instant offer, not this fake one. You're going to give a real net sheet, not a fake one. You're going to show them, they can look at other offers and compare them, they'll be identical. Yet you're going to be honest with them and find out, are you really an instant buyer or are you just curious? So you're not going to lose the lead, you're not going to lose the appointment, and you're going to keep the relationship where it needs to be, and you're going to serve our people the right way. It's not going to be smoke and mirrors or anything creepy. You're going to get 1% referral fee for bringing this deal to Keller Offers versus getting eliminated. And you're going to get paid to list it, and you're going to be able to put your sign in the yard, and Gary Keller is going to hire you to list that property. And his goal in that is that you also pick up all the buy side and obviously the seller moving on, a referral or a buy side. So instead of eliminating you, you're going to stay in the transaction and you are the realtor. So although we're using Keller Offers as the platform and the science behind it all and the platform behind it all, it's you. It's you putting your sign in the yard, not you being eliminated from the transaction. And that's the key, is keeping you in the deal, not kicking you out of the transaction. Does that make sense?
So we're in the deal at 2%, so bottom line.
2% plus whatever you can pick up off the listing.
But if you find the buyer on your list, you can keep the 3%. So like it could be 5 or it could be 2.
It could be 5, it could be 2. Depends if you're able to pick it up. And the thing is that, and I'll play this video in a minute, but these companies here are losing about $3,000 a purchase. So they're still not making money. In fact, Instant Offers is now spending $1.40 to make $1. So the company is kind of on life support. So this model isn't sustainable anyway, but it's disrupting us a little. And so this is how Gary responded. He does feel though that there's a new crew of buyers and sellers out there that do like to do things in a different way. So he doesn't think this model is going away actually. And that's why he figured it was worth putting something permanent in place for you so that you can compete against the marketing more than anything. Yes, Norma. Yep, everything is just like it would.
Can you repeat the question?
Keller Offers. Yep. So it's just like the transition here, the title does change. So it'd just be Keller Offers versus Open Door or Bungalow Homes or whomever. So it's really the same. And because they have this down, instead of Gary trying to invent this, he just went with what's working. So, Judy?
Well, I think I just had an aha. There are agents out there that advertise that they'll buy your house. Yeah, you could use this tool.
Well, and you also have
to
Gary
make
and
this.
Nikki Baldini that also will do this. So if you have someone that really, really, really wants to look at this, they can. But again, once you peel the onion back, this is a very small group of people that really should.
Right, but the bigger opportunity is to get the listing appointment.
Yes, it's not to lose the listing
It's
appointment.
gonna be 1% maybe that these are gonna actually go, but if you can use it to get a few listing appointments, get your foot in the door, that's what it's actually all about. It's not about buying this house.
And or to plus your listing appointments.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, or plus your listing appointment.
Because you know that's what they're doing. They're
You're
people
losing
that say,
appointments you didn't know
"They're
you
gonna buy your
already
house."
lost. That's what's scary. Yeah. You didn't know about the appointment behind your back just to check it out. So you need to get ahead of this. You need to be marketing ahead of this. So when you look at this, and this is kind of funny because for years Mickey's like, stay in your lane. Now it's like, get in every lane. Get in every lane. You can pack your box. Instant buy. You're in every lane, people. And it's because that's what the consumer desires. They desire a start to end experience. We're going there. This is what we're going to be doing. And so when you look at this, you know, this is just one more thing that Gary's adding to our toolbox. Is it you're going to use it a lot? No, but you're going to market it a lot. You got the iBuy option. So instead of just saying, hey, before I come over tonight, I'm just curious, have you thought about selling on your own? You know, that script that you guys use to pre-qualify, you add, you want to know more about Instant Buy. because I can give you a couple options on this too if you're curious. And most people are like, well, I'm curious. Well, that's a clue that maybe you need to have a conversation about it. So it's yet another tool in your toolbox, but it's really about starting with search all the way to the close. That experience that the consumer desires, you have to have all the pieces together because your competitors, iBuy, discounters, Rocket Mortgage, Quicken Loan, RP Funding, Suncoast Credit Union, I saw this weekend saying, do not use a realtor. We can have you give you a better loan by using our guy. You know, they're all just packaging it better, right? But the consumer actually desires that. They don't know that you're better, or they don't know that you have those tools as well. So your marketing message has to put all this together. Even if you don't even want to go to the class, then don't. But you need to start marketing that you have the whole experience and the whole product that the consumer desires. It's how you are Uber and not the taxi cab driver. Got it? Okay. Okay, did I have another question? I thought I had a hand. Yes.
So,
Oh, and then Rick.
sorry. So I'm curious to know if Keller Williams is going to do a national campaign about this, similar to what the other companies are doing, so that consumers are now seeing it online, they're seeing it on their Facebook feeds, they're seeing it on TV, and then we show up and say, oh, yeah, I heard about that, I read about that.
So they do national marketing, and yet here's the thing is, your iBuy is different than Rich Grant's iBuy, which is different than Judy Pope's iBuy. You've got to get your arms around your tribe. So they're planning a national message to go out, but you also need to deliver that to your people. And so they already have all the marketing done for us. I literally just have to go into the social suite and it's all there. iBuy, Keller Covered, which is your insurance product I'm about to talk to you about, Keller Mortgage. They have made it so simple. They made it social media size, email size, video size. They've got it all like where you can just pepper it out. But if I click on yours, June, it goes to your Keller Mortgage, not to Rich's or to Judy's. So that's how, think of a website. So we talk about websites with IDX, and IDX is how you track how the lead came in. And a lot of brokerages, there's a universal IDX and all the leads go to the broker. You guys have your own individual websites with individual IDX. If I go to your website, I'm going to you. If I go to your website, I'm going to you. Every one of your tools have that same technology, so that if I downloaded your app and clicked on Keller Mortgage and you didn't really even know me that well, Keller Mortgage is going to call you and say, hey, there's this gal named Jessica Fox-Wimmer that just got pre-approved. She came through you. And you may be like, who the heck is this person? And yet that you've got to track with everything. So you will be able to click the button and have all this marketing go out for you without having to create anything, but know that it's embedded with the technology that you want in their hands to make sure you get the lead. Does that answer that question?
That makes sense.
Okay. And yet there's lots of videos already created that we can put out. Everything's already pretty much done. So I just have to get you in the class, pretty much more than anything else, getting the class scheduled for the iBuy. Rick.
Hopefully piggyback on June's stuff. I don't know if this is what you were thinking, but what I thought when I heard her pose that question is I see Open Door offer path in past Purple Brick. On WFLA at 6 o'clock at night. We're not talking video.
Oh no, they have billions of dollars of money they're spending on this.
Okay, okay, so we will actually be on TV, for lack of a better term.
You are your TV.
Okay, well that's the difference.
Yeah, it's not Keller Williams promoting. You've got to promote to your sphere because that's going to be your device, your tool. So it's just like going to June's website versus going to yours. It's going to June's information on iBuy or Keller Mortgage or Keller Covered. And the neat thing about it is because it's all tagged, even if you didn't really connect with someone, but they saw your stuff or clicked on it. So like, let's say a Facebook ad. Let's just say you guys are all somehow on my Facebook, but we're not all best friends. Fair? Not like I even know maybe some of your phone numbers or emails or even know you. But for some reason, we became Facebook friends. Very common, right? When you're broadcasting all this out or doing purposeful ads about it, it'll be tied specifically to you so you capture that lead. And that is really critical because you need to capture the lead. We can do PR pieces so we're blue in the face as Keller Williams International, but you really want them to click on your tool to use your service.
I get that, but you can't deny there's gravitas and bona fides associated with national advertising or mega companies wouldn't actually advertise.
Sure.
So there's clearly that lane. And
But, yeah, the only difference is we got all of you wanting your own leads, right? Do you want your leads? Yes.
Okay.
And Open Door is a company where all the leads go into one bucket. So, okay, I'm gonna keep moving, because I wanna cover Keller covered and Keller Insurance as well, and I wanna show you just this one.
Part two question, please.
Oh, okay, part two.
Part two is, if we do acquire the client, can we just take the 1% referral and skip the 1% listing fee? Because that's a loser to me.
No, you're getting paid
I
1%.
know, I don't want the 1%. Let's say I don't want the 1%.
Why in the world would
Okay, my question is, can we take the 1% referral?
We can find out about that, but I don't know.
Find the 1%, because we talked about time and effort, and photos, and signage, and
Oh, you don't want the listing.
Right.
I don't want the list.
Just give it to somebody.
You can refer it out to any of us. Who wants the listing? If you want to skip it, go for it. No, but I see your point. If yeah, there's one right in front of you. Nancy said she'll take the listing. No, if you don't want the listing, you don't have to take it, I guess. I'm sure someone will take it from you. Okay, so I just want to play just a few minutes of this, just to give you some perspective. Now, this is a guy that I would write his name down. Thank you. Write this guy's name down and start following him, because he's probably the most knowledgeable guy I know. About 90% of this. I stalked this guy. Name is Mike Del Prete. It'll come up on the screen in a second. He was the featured speaker at Inman Connect.
Hey everyone, I'm Mike Del Prete, and I'm here to talk about some things this morning. So I want to start out with a question, profitability question. So in the world of real estate and disruption, these four companies get talked about more than any other: Zillow, Redfin, Open Door, and Compass. So raise a hand. How many people think all four of these companies are profitable? How about all three? 3 companies? All right, 2? 1? Got some hands? 0? Got some hands, all right. So the correct answer is 0. None of these big disruptors in real estate tech that we talk about all the time are profitable. On Zillow's last earnings call, there was an interesting quote. We're going to show you that we're not just buying dollars for 95 cents. You know what that means? So it's like for every dollar that Zillow gets in revenue, they're spending 95 cents of expenses to get that, right? It's a 5% profit margin. I thought that was interesting. So I looked at I wanted to look at the rising cost of a dollar for Zillow. If you look at in 2018, Zillow was effectively buying dollars for about 85 cents. In the first quarter of this year, they were effectively buying dollars for 95 cents. That's on an adjusted EBITDA basis. I'm not going to get all financy on you, but that's basically Zillow kind of determining their own profitability, what expenses to include and exclude in that calculation. A number of companies do that. Another way to look at profitability is on a GAAP basis. That's generally accepted accounting principles. That's what the SEC mandates public companies need to report on. Big companies like Facebook, Amazon, Netflix talk about earnings like that. If you look at it on a GAAP basis, it changes a bit. In 2018, Zillow was buying dollars for $1.10. In the first quarter of this year, they were buying dollars for about $1.20. And in just the first quarter of this year in their homes business, they're buying dollars for $1.40, almost $1.40. Now, I'm not saying this is good or bad. It is what it is. And it's important to understand when we're thinking about disruption in real estate, right? Zillow is willing to invest a huge amount of money to do what they want to do. Switch to Compass for a moment. Compass has raised over $1 billion. Compass is effectively buying market share, right? This graph here in pink shows when they've raised these big mega rounds, and the blue line is the agent count. Compass is taking this money and turning it into agents. If you look at company valuations, profitability these days is passe.
So just to put that in perspective, we're a profit sharing company and we're highly profitable, and yet these other companies aren't. So right now, if you look at it, Zillow is actually on life support right now. And this is why. They had a change of leadership. The previous leader really believed in the Zillow Premier program. I think you probably know the most, Denise, don't you? You probably teach this part. Yeah, but basically they had a turn and they had conflict in their leadership, and the new leader said the other guy was a little too soft on realtors. And with the iBuy model, and the number of people that actually buy leads through Zillow has diminished. It was down by 49% first quarter of this year. I don't know where they're at today, but they lost almost all their revenue, and they still weren't profitable then. So they really are on life support. So, you know, don't go buy leads from Zillow. They're trying to take us out, and yet we still have to inspire leads from Zillow. So they really are on life support, and they're losing on average $3,000 per home that they buy. So they still haven't proven any of these models to actually work. And so right now, Zillow is really interesting to watch because they're being kind of erratic with some of their decisions, and yet they're all unprofitable. And again, if they didn't have these huge hedge funds backing them, hoping that they're profitable soon, none of these companies would exist. So the reality is all these companies coming out of the woodwork, the reason why it happened also is because the market's been so good for so long. And if we had a shift where all of a sudden our days on market was 4 months, none of these companies would even exist. So the market being as vigorous as it is isn't really helping right now. And yet interest rates being so great, I don't think things are really changing. Things are looking really, really good for the rest of this year and into next. And yet if we had a major impact to our world, a war, or a major company fall to their knees, or some economic crisis, all this would be gone. We wouldn't even be talking about it right now. And so just know that's how volatile things are with these other companies that aren't profitable. So we're kind of praying for a slowdown. In fact, it would be good if we could just do a group prayer right now and slow this down. Now, this is a great article that I'm going to share as well about Gary White. Why in the heck did he do this? It's not because he wants to be iBuy. He feels he needed to give you guys that other tool in your toolbox so that you can market to your people and kind of market ahead of these other companies. And like I said, there's like a new one every week. This is what it looks like in our market. This is the greater Tampa Bay area right here. This is 2016 when only OfferPad was here. And then Open Door came in 2017, not much in Tampa, more in Orlando. And this is 2019. Zillow isn't here yet.
Would you send this slide?
Yep, I'm going to send all these and the articles. We're going to scan them in so you've got all of it. Some of these require subscriptions. So if I send you the link, you won't be able to read the whole article. We're going to get all this in an email today. But that would be a great visual aid to share, you know, but at the same time, look at what you have in your hands, you guys. They're not doing much when you compare what they're doing here. This is what it really looks like in comparison to our single office. So I don't want you guys to be like terrified, yet I want to wake you up and make sure you understand how this is all working. So yes, Sarah.
Quick question. If we use the Keller offers as a marketing tool to just go in and get pricing payments, are there going to be any price restrictions on like can we market to $500,000 houses, or are they going to want us
in
to
the class? They're going to go through all the restrictions, and it's per market, and it's the same restrictions of the other ones. So you're not going to lose anything because it's like they all follow suit. They all kind of have a price threshold. So they go to. None of them are doing flood. You know, so all of them have very consistent. It's an algorithm. So they're all following the same algorithm, and we will too. But great question. Okay, so what does this mean to you guys? I mean, it's a lot to digest, and at the same time, I want to show kind of what you need to be. So this is from Mike again, saying, you guys don't worry. In fact, Mike says the biggest fear that Open Door has, and he said this a month ago, was Keller Williams agents having their own iBuy. He said that's their nightmare. And now we have it. So Open Door is probably the most criticized for smoke and mirror advertising and marketing, and that's why Gary went with OfferPad. They don't have as much garbage around them. Now, your consumer will never see anything with OfferPad on it though, and they won't know that Gary got his money from OfferPad. So it's really going to be Sarah Taylor or Rich Grant or, you know, June Connell. It's really going to be you as the whole product with backed by Keller offers. But it's like be that trusted advisor. So we couldn't say it enough. You guys aren't going to change who you are. You're going to need to be more of who you are. You're going to need to be that trusted advisor. You need to be able to solicit multiple offers. So things like, Linda's not here, but Linda is one of the best, I think, at this. At when she has a listing hit the market, she doesn't review offers. I think it's till noon on Tuesday or noon on Monday. so that she can get as many offers in over the weekend as possible. She gets her life back on the weekends, and she's got multiple offers to come to her seller with and pick the best one. It may not be the highest price. That's really the best offer for them to choose. You guys need to start creating those types of scenarios, not just one-offing. So again, we're gonna have to be a little bit more creative in how we do that. And then don't ignore our people. We've been ignoring our people for the last couple of years. We've gotten kind of transactional, and we've gotten away from database and relational. So it's really having those events. I've even thought about, if you guys want, we could do like 4 here a year. Like we could do like a bouncy castle and a grill out and the whole thing if you guys want like family fun. Or we could have the Easter Bunny come here. Or we could do a seminar about business here. That you guys could use that event as a way to invite your database. So for those of you that are single agents where you're thinking, yeah, I should be doing these events and things, if you find it to be too daunting, we could probably come up with stuff here that you could use as your reason to invite to an event. So any of those things that you think would be helpful, we're more than happy to do. And then it's really about the power of relationships. So the more tech it gets, the more connection and community they desire. So when you think about it, you want to look at your database as like little communities. Like, how do you know them? Are they part of your old neighborhood that you used to live at? Or is it the old business you used to be part of? Or is it these are your girls? These are the guys you go fishing with. You've got little pods of relationships in your database. You want to start thinking of them that way again and creating community around that. And there's a lot of cool ways to do that besides just turning on the neighborhood nurture. And that's really going to set you guys apart from an app or a website. This is the whole program right here. And we'll give you this link so you have it in your inbox. But if you go to Connect and you just go to Tech Enabled, it has pretty much every question you might have with an overview of the major parts of your new platform, which are Command, Kelly, and your consumer app. And under each section, there's a little video kind of previewing it, but also showing the different applets and the different parts. So for those of you that really only want to know how to write an offer through it and just get paid, we have that class coming for you. You don't want to know about anything else, put the blinders over, just teach me how to get paid. We have that class coming. And then what we will individually teach are the different elements of it, like the design center, lead accelerator, where you can do ads on Facebook, on everything. And we'll compartmentalize it so you can just plug into the parts that matter to you. And that way, it won't be overwhelming. And yet, for those of you that literally don't want to change anything that you're doing, you just want to get paid, we have the easy button for you as well. But I would encourage you, if you haven't been up to speed, now is the time to wake up, because as of now, eEdge does connect with Command with notes. Some of you are waiting on that. Certain elements of Command are on that you may not have realized are. And so we're going to ask, when you have a question, don't go to another person in the office, because we're finding so much misinformation that it's unreal. We're drowning in misinformation. So when you have a question about the programs, come to the staff, not the guy in the hallway that hasn't been on it for 3 weeks and doesn't know that something's working. Because we're fixing a lot of misinformation. So we're going to make sure that we have availability to answer your questions, and yet it'd be a lot easier if you would just come to us that are up to speed with everything on a daily basis. Kevin, you want to add anything on that?
No, just, and Ryan goes available too.
Oh, Ryan, and Ryan, when available.
Right. So just, again, it's just reach out, email, call, or come to the money workshops, and then come next month will be a whole new schedule for
Thursday. It's Thursday coming up. Yeah, we have that. There's a webinar on there. There's a webinar on how to get paid on Thursday that they were just blasting to us. It's all ready to get on.
We're gonna have our own classes in the office as well, which we'll offer by Zoom in there, and we'll give you a list of classes that you can participate in. Because most of you don't like going online and just watching things online. You want to ask questions. So we're gonna be rolling out a total different calendar specific to that. So September might look very much Command on the calendar, and yet we're still going to have some other great things for you to attend, because it's really about getting you all on there. So this is kind of the evolution of Command. It's taken 4 years of hard work to build a whole platform. There's some companies starting now, but NAR is expecting that this race is over April of next year. April of 2020, they're expecting 1/3 of the realtors have left the industry. And many companies have folded and many companies have merged and names have changed. And our industry looks like a snow globe right now being shaken. So just kind of back to the days of taxi cabs versus Uber and Lyft. In that transformational period, there were probably 30 knockoffs of Uber and Lyft that we still can't remember because they didn't make it. That's what you're going to see. And you're going to see more and more of these other companies like Knock and Door and Nest and UpNest and Dorothy and all these other ones. So give me that information when you run into them so that we can keep tracking to see what everyone's doing, but also to give you that intel that you need so that when you're going on a listing appointment, you can show, you know, their true commission and their actual sales volume. On here, where it says com, it's very tiny, that's their actual closed commission percentage for the deals they closed per side. So, for example, listed.com, we know is RP Funding. What does his advertisement say?
0.
0. 2.57%. So he's saying 0 commission, but he's got 1 million fees. So this is the true number. This is the true growth. I'm sorry, true net number of commission. So this would be really powerful to bring with you on a listing appointment, wouldn't it be? Yes.
What does Redfin say? I can't read it.
1%. Oh, they are 2.68. Thank you. Yeah, and you know what we can do is I just wanted to get one of these in front of you. We could like break them up as individual offices or companies, like us versus them, and send you all of these. You can send you 20 of these with 20 different companies if you want, so that it's more legible and you can actually see the numbers. But yet you start thinking about all those companies that you guys listed that are marketing here that even haven't had a sale yet here. We don't even have any evidence yet. So I want to track all of them. So like I said, I want to know the names. Yes.
I thought the most impressive thing on here is the fact that all 3 of our offices sold almost $1 billion.
Yeah, already this year, almost $1 billion sales. Isn't that awesome? And it's even most awesome because we're number 1. Not that we're competitive at all. Yes.
You're saying that these other companies that are coming up, they're actually charging 7 to 15% is what they end up charging.
So their net sheet when it's done, they pay 15%.
But on here,
it's because of the credit that they have to pay for repairs. So half of it comes as a credit.
Commission and then the rest is credit.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Let's just say, Amy, you're like enticed by this iBuy thing, and I'm an iBuy company. Like, oh man, this is so much easier. I don't have to replace that carpeting. I don't have to fix that window, that light fixture that's kind of fritzy. I'm not even going to deal with any of this. I'm going to leave, and they're just going to give me my money. Because then they go through and inspect and they ding you for everything. And the sad truth is that if you were selling it normally, you would have done the work and gotten the money. So if you really think of it, it's exponential. And the worst part we're seeing is Phoenix is a great company or a city to track because they've had so much iBuy. And I'm talking 2% of their sales is only iBuy, but they're the biggest in any metro area is Phoenix. So you hear Phoenix being spoken about a lot. And they've had it the longest. They kind of were the first city to have iBuy kind of take them on. We're seeing what we went through when the market crashed with distressed sales affecting appraisals. Because remember when we had as many distressed sales happening in the neighborhood as regular sales, and if you had a regular sale, you were hoping to God the distressed sales didn't crush your appraisal, right? Well, if you guys are all iBuys in the neighborhood, you're having the same impact. Because that's a sale. And so Phoenix, what the agents in Phoenix are really griping about more than anything is they can't get anything to appraise out right now because of that. And it's particular neighborhoods. Like, so in our area, you look at like Starkey Ranch is going to be a great target for iBuy because it's very, very cookie cutter, very similar, same time period they were built, same amenities. And so it's very predictable about what the values in that neighborhood are going to be. If you went into a neighborhood where there's a 1-bedroom over here and a 3-bedroom here and a house that looks like it should be torn down here and then $1 million property, that's not the neighborhood they want to be in because they're not predictable and their algorithm doesn't work. So, but you start peeling the onion back, you guys, iBuy has got some negative impacts. It really does. And yet, more than anything, it's the consumer being taken advantage of. Rich?
Okay, so We walk in and just our clients are considering an iBuy company.
Okay,
First of all, is OfferPad in Tampa right now?
yes.
Okay.
Yep, just have 'em on the map.
We might effectively be competing against OfferPad with Keller Offer.
Yep,
Okay. So,
same algorithm.
same exact algorithm.
It's gonna be the same offer.
So we can we in fact represent that it's a duplicative consideration because you're effectively considering the same thing? So you might as well do it with us.
There's no harm in getting other offers either though. Because this is the truth. If I have a company that I haven't spoken to anyone but got an email from with an offer, and I've got you that I know, like, and trust, and I got the same offer, who am I gonna work with? So in Phoenix, before they had anything put together, some of their agents were actually going on the computer with them and doing all the iBuy, getting them filled out and be like, I'll come back in 3 days and let's look at this. And that's what they were doing in essence.
So as a company culture, do we want to promote that we're in business with OfferPad, or do we want to?
No, it's Keller Offers.
So we're not.
We're just using their money. That's all we are. Yeah, because I don't think Gary loves OfferPad. I think it's a list of these words.
We're push.
Well, here's why. What if OfferPad had a couple of nasty lawsuits because of some of the stuff that they're choosing to do? Fair? Just like Purple Bricks got kicked out of the US. And you don't want to be putting your name next to Purple Bricks, right? Same thing. So he's insulating us with Keller Offers. Just to protect us. Because he can't control what they're going to do, right? So, but they seem to be the least bad.
How do you do the same with Keller Offer that the other companies are doing with after the inspection, reducing the price? It's like, what's the advantage really to the client?
There isn't one.
There isn't one to either go with us or with OfferPad.
But relationship.
Just the relationship.
It's just trust and relationship. But let's just be honest. Out of 10 people that you sat down and talked to, there's probably one of them that this actually makes sense for. Yet you're curious and you may have lost the lead, you may have lost the listing appointment, right? And that's the point. Don't lose it. Keep it. But then when they really peel the onion back and they look at this, they're usually like, no thanks. Yet they're advertising a different truth, right?
You're
that's how
gonna
you
pick up the listing when they get mad about this big request for conditions.
Right.
And then the listing shares and walk away from that.
It's about not losing the listing appointment. Norma? OfferPad gets their money from lots of different sources, hedge funds. There's hundreds of hedge funds for each of them. They have so much money, it's never ending. And it's a lot of China money. If you actually start researching, it's a lot of China money. Yes.
Okay, so they have that credit that they have to pay it after inspections. Are we gonna have that same?
It's gonna all be the same. It's all.
So we're still gonna go to them and say, oh, but you've got.
No, we're not gonna, like, we're gonna give a real instant offer, not a creepy one.
Okay.
But we're gonna give the same number, but we're gonna show the truth that if things are found out, you're gonna have to pay them.
But if things are found out, are they gonna have to pay us?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. So convenience has a price, doesn't it? And that's why there's very few people that this actually makes sense for. Yet again, their marketing budgets are pretty expensive and they're saying all kinds of smoke and mirror type stuff that you guys gotta keep right.
If they're not happy with the repairs and stuff, we can always then turn it into a normal state.
Correct.
Sure. Yeah, at any point, this could be 90% of the time it'll become a normal sale.
I don't think it's about how to push Keller Offers on anybody.
Not at all.
About giving them options and maybe just bring the net sheets for each one. Like, here, if you sell it traditionally, here's what you're gonna make. If you really want this convenience, here's what you're gonna make, and then let them choose. I know, right? Like, they're gonna see a bigger number and be like, oh, let's do that.
With Amazon, and all of Amazon, you've got Amazon Prime, is great. You don't think about, oh yeah, it cost me $100+ a year to have that convenience. So it goes back to the same with this. If the consumer wants that convenience because they have to sell now, they've got to move on. You've got that option for them. So it's just one more thing that you've got available. Not only is
it's another tool in your toolbox, but here's the thing. even if you don't like all your tools, guess what? You better start using them. Even if you don't like all your tools, you better start using them. Otherwise, you're gonna lose business. And that's why Gary's doing this. He's packaging every element of it. Are you gonna not use Kurt Kennedy because of Keller Mortgage? No. You need all your guys. Are you gonna, not refer to your insurance guy because now we've got Keller covered? No. You're giving more options, but you need to package it like the consumer of the future. The consumer of the future expects an experience that we know we are not currently delivering. Right now, if I meet you at an open house, I now have to go to your website to search real estate. And then if we want to see property, I've got to call you or email you and set that up. And if we go look at property and we want to write an offer, then you got to go into .loop. And then you're going to send it to me and I'm going to email signature it. And even it's just this whole process. And then you're going to say you need to find an inspector. Here are a few guys I know. You got to go find one. It's really a different experience than what we have to provide. They're expecting everything to be done for us. You need to do everything. You're their concierge. If you don't provide that, guess what? Bungalow Homes does. I don't think inspections will ever because of all the liability, but you're going to definitely need your guys. Don't tell them to go find their own inspector. You better help them, give them some names of some people. You don't need to give one name, you should give a couple, right? But this whole process needs to be packaged. Like, maybe we should consider iBuy, see if it's a good fit for you. Okay, great, it's not. Moving on to a normal transaction. Now we're going to give you Search 2.0. Search 2.0 is part of Command, and all you guys need to do is let us attach you to your data. I have it set up so that my phone and Google Contacts sync. Every time I add someone to my phone, they're magically put in the database. I think that's like hallelujah right there, right? Yeah. Seriously, how much better are you as a realtor if you just collected all your people properly? And to have it automatically go on a neighborhood nurture without even doing anything and it's doing its thing. To be really honest with you, if we just got you guys to step one of what all the tools are, you're already like 1,000% better than most of you are running your business now. To be really totally transparent. And the thing is, if you do nothing more than that, that's okay. You don't have to. You don't have to. But if you want to learn how to use these other parts of the tool, you can, and know that the tool is so robust, it really knocks out of the park Sync or Boomtown or Tiger Lead. And you have to be spending thousands of dollars a month to have those tools. So you're going to do whatever you want, and yet we have a very little bit that we have to actually turn on for you to have the benefit of it. And I'm excited. Kevin led a class yesterday for leadership to make sure we knew what the heck we were doing before we rolled this out. And it was kind of surprising how little we had to actually show you. And we have all these classes going on, so we actually decided we're going to change the classes to be very succinct. Like, this is all you need to do. And if you want to learn more, there's a class on this, there's a class on that, and you're going to go to the classes and participate in whatever you want. But if all you did was the very bare minimum, you all are going to be so much more successful in real estate and give such a better experience than you are now. It's that simple. Okay, any questions on that? Okay, you want to add anything?
Customer experience.
Talk about it.
So next, on Tuesday, guys, so if you've not heard, maybe we'll be teaching you marketing, right? What she's teaching is customer experience. So it's not had an opportunity to go to that class, so bring opportunities to really learn going back to the basics of relationships.
That's basically, if you are like most of us that need to like get back into love with your database and you kind of ignore like 30% of them or 100% of them or somewhere in the middle, this is a class how to get back into your relationship with your people without feeling weird, but then it's how to maintain a new rhythm. A new rhythm with your database so that you don't get out of relationship. It's for everybody that doesn't want to go to bold, you love customer experience. So if you are non-prospecting and you're all relational or you want to be 100% referral, you need to go to this. This is my very favorite class of Keller.
It's one of her, again, as her mouth, it's one of her favorite classes. It's a fun class. You know, good time. So make sure you register at customer experience with Nikki.
Should we we'll send that in an email with all of this today. We have it all. Okay, so Keller Covered. What the heck is Keller Covered? I'm just going to quick throw a video up so you can see this. We're going long, so I'm gonna get you out of here in time, so I'm gonna go quick. I gotta find the right video here. So Keller Covered is another piece of the puzzle. You've got insurance too. This is not gonna replace your favorite insurance guys. This is a way for them to use your app again to shop like 75 different insurance plans. And they have a lot of built-in offers that Keller Williams was able to negotiate. Are they gonna choose this plan? I don't know, but it's again, another service, and every one of your competitors offers this too. So again, are you gonna talk to your friends about iBuy? No, but you gotta have it in the toolbox because everyone else has it in the toolbox. Same thing with this. So from your app, they will be able to check insurance more very easily, just like they could online, and that's how today's consumer prefers to drive. You still will have people that want to be belly to belly with their lender or the insurance person. Great, you need those folks too, but this is so you don't lose. And every one of these tools is built to give the consumer the new experience they desire without you accidentally losing anybody. And this is how. Every one of these tools that you give out are all tied to you. And if anyone interacts with any of your tools in any way, you will know in Kelly and Command. Kelly will tell you like, hello, call this person because they're all over your app, or they're all over Keller Mortgage, or they're all over Keller Covered. It's kind of like, it's called voyeuristic search. So you get to do what you want, or we get to see what you're doing. And so what's cool about it is if you go into your Command every day and just click on one button that says last visited, everyone in your database connected to all of your tools, if they're doing anything with any of them, it's going to show up. It's going to show up specifically what they're doing. If they clicked on a property, if they hearted a property address, if they didn't like a property address, if they checked out Keller Mortgage, if they checked out Keller Covered, all that's going to be a clue to you. And it's going to all be connected in that one spot. So you're not going to have all this all over the place. The other part is Keller Williams provided professional marketing materials already done. So you can just send them out if you want. You don't have to create anything for yourself. And there's video embedded, all that. Most importantly, your tag of meaning it's your lead is embedded. So if I go use your app, Kim, it's going to you. And that is the passion Gary has about this business, is that you get your leads. And so no, everything has your own tag. So this is Keller.
Residences across the country, but everyone.
That's really loud, I apologize. Turn that down a little.
The home. A home for families of all types. A place to live, rest, and make your own. A home for all your things and all you love. A safe place you want to keep safe. That stuff happens. Little stuff. But now, more really serious stuff that leaves the majority of homeowners underinsured and at financial risk if there's a fire, flood, hurricane, or major claims. Why is that? Home insurance is complex, jargony, mystifying. In times when everything's getting easier, why hasn't someone stepped up to make getting insurance easier? Now, there's a better way, a simpler way, a perfectly timed way, a way provided exclusively by Keller Williams agents. Say hello to Keller Covered. It's home insurance made awesomely simple. It's a revolution for your clients and for you. For your clients, Keller Covered makes it easy to compare quotes from a variety of top carriers in one place. Information on a client's new home is automatically loaded into Keller Covered. No jargon, no friction, no what? With a few taps, your client confirms their information, then gets multiple quotes in just 2 to 5 minutes, not in hours. Nothing's faster, nothing's easier, nothing's like it. Your client can explore options, choose the coverage they need, and buy if they like. They get a plan that's truly right for their family, budget, and new home. So when they move in, they can rest assured because Keller Covered has them, well, covered. Of people who've already tried it, 100% say they recommend it. For agents, Keller Covered revolutionizes how you work with clients. It expands your relationship. It gives you data to be more involved in more aspects of their homes and lives. When it's renewal time, you're there with help to make sure your client's protection is up to date and you are top of mind. Keller Covered is an industry-first competitive advantage. Not only does it bring you closer to clients, it slams the door on outside companies hungry for your commission. You can try and fail. They'll be back. But you and Keller Covered will be there, delivering the future today to make your clients' lives easier, year after year after year. Keller Covered. Home insurance made awesomely simple. Good insurance. Good insurance.
The dog reminds me of Ava. Especially when the dog jumps in the pool. Okay, so this is rolling out this month-ish. You're gonna all get a lot of emails about it, and you can take an online class about it. If you wanna, if you wanna jump on right now and get information, just go to kellercovered.com/class. Again, this is another tool in your toolbox, and it's creating that consumer experience that the consumer now desires. You need it all. And one of the things I'm hoping that we can get the marketing department for Keller to do is give one like piece of paper that has all this on there. So that's what I asked for, like one thing. So you can show that you have it all. Okay, we're gonna switch gears. I'm gonna wrap with Keller Mortgage. Keller Mortgage, we have saved so far this year $80 million for the consumer. Yeah, isn't that cool? And let's see where I got this. I think I had this up. I may have actually deleted it. Okay, here's a little bit of a quick overview of Keller Mortgage. I got to show you something. This is probably the most exciting part of my book. See this button? As an agent, you wish you had an SOS button for all the deals, don't you? If the deal's not going good, SOS, SOS. That's what that button's for. So if you're representing someone and they're going through Keller Mortgage and you're not happy, you hit SOS and you get to a leader of the team. So I think that's pretty cool. Besides the $80 million. So SOS, and there you go. So it's kind of, this video is flashing all, but basically what they're showing you is the process. So if someone has downloaded your app, your Red app, which will soon have the Kelly makeover, but right now in the bottom right corner, they can click on Keller Mortgage and get connected to a Keller Mortgage person. But now you can change and pick your own loan officer. So in the past, you just got to Keller Mortgage. Now you can pick your own.
Communicate with us. I can call them at any time, even on the weekend. Yay! My preferred loan officer with Keller Mortgage is Lisa. I love working with her because she's prompt, very experienced, and works well with all of my clients. Working with Amy has been great. She's getting the service that she needs for her plans. I've been working with several agents on a weekly basis, but this will make it so much easier.
There's so many disruptors in our industry. You have to start thinking, how can you save your clients the most amount of money? What is best for the client? The most important part about Keller Mortgage is that they're adding value. The fact that everything keeps moving in the right direction because it's designed for agents, it's a no-brainer, and it's going to keep getting better.
So our office is number 10 in the world for referrals, which I was surprised by. I didn't realize that. And Margaret Jackson and Lou Tutko, I know are, I just turned off our Zoom. Sorry, guys. Didn't mean to do that.
Decent size.
Let me
with all the moves today.
I meant to shut the other video off. Sorry about that. There we go. That one looks like the class we don't want to take. Wow. That looks like boring. Okay, so here's the thing. Keller Mortgage is yet another tool. It's not here to replace our awesome relationships with our great lenders. It's and you're gonna have plenty of folks that want to work with someone that they can go meet at the office and shake hands with. And yet the younger consumer of today really wants to go online and not really talk to anybody. And so this is another wave of change. And where the future is headed, and yet there's a lot of savings involved. So we were gonna just have some fun with it. So Demar, you want to share a little bit about that?
Yeah, so with Keller Mortgage, interestingly, when we were at Mega Camp, they were saying that just by putting the rider, and the rider basically says no lender fees, save thousands on your for sale signs, it increased lead calls up to 50%.
Sign calls. Wouldn't you guys like a sign call again? Remember this? How long has it been since we've got sign calls? So you can put in the yard, and there's signage available in Tana. We've got a bunch of it coming to you guys, where you're creating sign calls and actually profit share.
Yep. And the other thing is agents are calling the listing agent, and they're asking, how does this happen? We have scripts, so you can go to kellermortgage.com, and you can literally get scripts on how to talk to these agents when they call you, because then you can position it like, hey, this is what my company's doing, what's your company offering, blah, 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 blah. There's all these great scripts, and that can go into potential profit share recruiting appointments that you can send over to us, and you can help close them.
It's
awesome. So what we're doing is we're doing a contest in September, starting September 1st. Everyone who gets a listing in the month of September will literally give you one of these riders that you can put on your for sale sign and start generating these calls. And then we'll make some fun around in the month of September, get some wins and hear some good success stories and go from there.
Yeah, so, obviously it's awesome to be able to provide a buyer with a discount like that. And so for a $250,000 house, besides the no fee, you get an extra $1,000 in closing costs. So it comes to about $5,000. So that's never a bad deal, right? But it's the sign calls that are being generated that the agents were most excited by, because you guys haven't had sign calls in years, and we used to live off sign calls. So, so it's a really super win-win-win circumstance for you guys. It's something only you can offer. So it's again another differentiator. And when you go in here under KW Connect, if you go to resources in Keller Mortgage, they even have the inserts for a buyer consultation and a listing presentation, because this is also a great way to get the listing. So they have all the marketing done for you. If you just go in here, I'm just showing you kind of the path. You just go right under marketing, and they even have scripts like to explain how to talk about it. So here's the buyer presentation insert, the listing presentation insert, the open house flyer, social media posts. You literally can download anything there and just start using it. Everyone's on Keller Mortgage. You don't have to do anything to join it. You all have it. And when the consumer app rolls out, which we're hoping is around the 15th of September, once Google says it's good to go, it'll be released. All this will be integrated. So you're not going to have them upload or download anything new. If I've already downloaded Kim's Red app, she's magically, it's just going to look different, and it's going to have all this embedded. And it will track the mortgage, where everything's at. So you will always be like, have a total pulse on where everything's at with all your clients. Melanie?
The coolest thing that I found on the buy side with Keller Mortgage is after you close, they send you an email that says exactly what your customer saved. And so I think that's a great tool to print and put into your listing presentation and your buyer consultation.
Yeah.
What we saved, on both ways. So great tool.
Yep. I'm actually experiencing it right now, and it's been phenomenal. So I'm having a good experience. Chris?
Where does the money that Keller Williams and Keller Mortgage is saving customers come from?
Gary's not charging any fees, so he's eating it all.
Are the rates comparable?
Yes. So Gary's losing money on this one too. Poor guy. We're becoming a real burden to this guy thing. No, yeah, he's losing everything, and he's giving a house on closing.
Well, I mean, people go, yeah, well, there's nothing free. It's like our money, whatever.
Yeah, it's not like you're jacking up the rates.
Yeah.
Nope, it's a legit deal. So, and the best thing to do is always have them shop around, because then you're even a bigger hero when you're like, holy camole, like, thank you. So you never want to discourage anyone from shopping around, and you want to give at-bats to all your people, because different lenders have different things, so it's never like the only answer by any means. Danielle, your husband's probably shaking his boots right now, like, Keller Mortgage, right? No, it's not that at all. It's just another tool in your toolbox, and yet it could be the difference of a deal coming together or not, in a lot of ways.
I talked to Keller Mortgage about my own mortgage, but where are they? Okay, where are the agents?
Their first call center was in Ohio, but they've now quadrupled in size. They're going to have East Coast and West Coast, because you've got agents all over, and you don't want your lender not available till 10 in the morning, kind of thing. So, and they're hiring. So Keller Mortgage is looking for great lenders right now. but they've quadrupled in size this year already. So they're gonna have, their initial call center was in Ohio. I think the guy that we used was Ohio. Yes, Jackie?
These signs that Ari was talking about, didn't they give those away free about 4 months ago?
That was our Kelly Details app. That was a different tool that you have in your toolbox.
No, they were signs that you put attachments, they were writer.
Yeah, they're expensive for detailed text.
That was for another tool that you have. It's the text app. That's what we gave away. That's what we gave away was the text sign writers. You can text the word details to 53553, and all your information about your listing comes up. And whoever the consumer is that did that, you get a text with their phone number. That's another tool that you guys have that you may not be using. Sarah?
Is the no rider fee lender, is the no lender fee rider available to purchase today?
We ordered a bunch. Tana, what does that look like? So we're not gonna wait till September. As soon as you get a listing, you let Tana know, and we're gonna get these signs out. We want to increase your leads. And there might be more signs or different kinds of signs. We don't know. We just saw what we saw at the Mega Camp, and so we'll keep communicating. And I'll give those babies away like candy. That means that's giving you guys leads, right? But that's the overwhelming response I got from the agents wasn't how much money they saved their buyers. Was like, the phone was ringing again, you know. And again, like for those of you that are less than 5 years in the business, you don't know what I'm talking about. But it used to be awesome before all these other technologies kind of hijacked our leads. We used to actually get sign calls. People used to drive around neighborhoods and call us. Those days are done, you know, and so this is a way of kind of recapturing it again. And it's something that you can do that no one else can do. So it's another advantage. So again, bust all these tools out because, you know, you have them. And there's a reason why Gary's spending money, losing money to have them, because you need them. And you need them to compete with Zillow and Redfin and Opendoor and OfferPad. Because they are your new competitor, they're your disruptor. And it's good to know that they're not profitable, and it's good to know that they're not really doing too much in terms of sales in our market, but they have big checkbooks behind them. And that's where relationships gonna trump that. So it's really about kind of digging back in and getting in love with your people again. And getting reacquainted, and one of the best things you can do is just turn on the neighborhood nurture, which is really what we can teach you to do right now. Everyone can do it. In the next 45 days, you will be writing offers in this program, and we can pretty much start in about a week from now. So we're going to be rolling that out so you guys can just start writing your offers right in here and get rolling.
I'm going to make the assumption that to have a neighborhood nurture, you're going to have an address.
Yep, address. Or you can add any neighborhood to somebody and just tag any neighborhood if you don't really know where they live. So a fun thing to do is if you don't have an address, because I have like half my addresses. So I just tagged Clearwater Beach and Dunedin because they're both cool. And I figured if they don't like that, they can click on their own. And most of them are clicking adding neighborhoods. They add their own. And it's crazy. They're adding them from all over the country, you know, because they make, one of the people I haven't added Wichita, Kansas this morning. I'm like, okay, I guess they're curious about Kansas. So I got to call them and say, what's up in Kansas? Yeah. Yeah.
Does that require, I'm assuming it requires that everyone has an email address as well.
Yeah, otherwise there's no way to get it to them.
Right, so, okay.
Or you can do things through Facebook, you know, or you can text them. Whatever you have, you can use. So as long as you have something besides their name, we can do something with them.
Okay.
But ideally, like the Best Healthiest database would have all that, and yet none of us are going to have a database that looks like 10% might have everything, 25% might just have email. So the cool thing is you can just turn on what you can and how you can deliver it. And eventually when the mobile app is ready, the Keller Williams consumer mobile app is ready, which is around, we're hoping for around September 15th. Once Google says it's ready, because you can't have a soft release on an app. It's going to crash and burn if we do it that way. And that's why Gary has hired Google and their team to make sure that that app is tricked out, working, and there's no bugs or any issues. But when that happens, all of this in here will be rolled together. And so say you only gave me the app and that's all I have. You don't even know my email. If I use it, I'm in your database and you can even see what I'm doing. So it's so cool however you got connected to this individual, the data will pull in if they ever interact with any of your stuff.
It will pull in their phone number if they're on there.
You got it.
Nice.
Yes, so it's really a smart database. It's gonna make us look so much smarter. You know, not necessarily. They could have downloaded your app and off of Facebook or something. And until they use it, there's no, you know, it's pretty cool how this tech works when it works in your best interest and in your behalf. So I can't encourage you enough. Encourage your friends that aren't here to make sure they know about this. And here's the thing, don't ask your fellow friend the question about does this work in Command yet, because you probably don't know. And I gotta tell you, I'm spending more time fixing conversations that weren't right, or information that went out that wasn't right. So just come and see the bosses up here, because we're gonna be like Command nerds for like the rest of the year, to help you guys make this a solution. So don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of these iBuyers, but just see right through them, and yet make sure that you're giving the Oh yes, we have a raffle. So Tana's in charge of prizes. I'm not in charge of prizes. Okay, so one more pitch. Nikki's class Tuesday. Tomorrow, tonight, 5 o'clock at Glory Days. We cannot do it at LBC because Jamie Mooma decided to have a customer appreciation party. So we got Red Glory Days. All right, okay. Okay, so this is for, did you get me one? Yeah. Okay, last 3 are 581. Oh. Yay! Danielle. Okay, and then for this very fancy water bubble, 579. Okay, well, we love you guys. We're excited about helping you roll this out so that you can really take advantage. If you need anything, come and see me. Thank you.